In this video, we're going to be looking at two different videos from this creator, both of which were made a little while back but are still very much relevant today, especially given the political climate. These videos were sent over by a brother named Ade. Shout out to Ade for sending this in. So without wasting any much time, let's just jump right into it.
Let's clarify this real quick. White women do not need white men to uphold white supremacy. It's the opposite. White men need white women to behave and participate in specific ways to uphold white supremacy and to perpetuate the system. We uphold it. We perpetuate it. It's on us. We choose how we raise the next generation of children. We choose who we vote into public office. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to say, oh, Stockholms, oh, we've been tricked, oh, you're saying that white women put up with or want, DV and all that stuff. Yeah. Sure. You can say all of that. And those are all excuses for you not to sit down and examine the internal bias that perpetuates white supremacy within this nation. Because if you are a white woman in today's day and age, utilizing those excuses as to why you don't like what I'm saying, you are part of the mother problem. You are part of everything that is upholding and perpetuating this system that oppresses so many people. It's on us. We are the largest voting bloc in America. I'm not going to stop tooting that horn for a second, especially with elections around the mother corner. If you are a white woman and you are voting for someone who you know is not going to make serious political change in society that will benefit Black, brown, and indigenous persons, you're part of the problem. You're the one upholding the system, not the other way around. White women first need to recognize that this is an issue. 2, we need to recognize the real role and power that we have played in creating all of the systemic issues in society. And 3, we need to recognize how we perpetuate the problem through how we raise our children and how we have voted. Enough already. White women have zero excuses in today's day and age. None.
A few days ago, I made a video where I, in my own way, made the same points that she made in this video, and I brought up 1 or 2 examples to back my points up. White women have never been this dainty, innocent, couldn't hurt a fly being that they want us to believe that they are. And this is a fact that you would find across history if you really know how to pay attention to the details. Just yesterday, I learned that 40% of slave owners were white women. Let that sink in. I learned about this book recently called They Were Her Property, and I'm trying to see if I can find the book to read, and I'm recommending the book to you guys because from the people who are speaking about this book on TikTok and talking about the details in there, apparently it's a real eye-opener and gives a perspective of white women's involvement in slavery that not many people are really aware of like that. So even though I've not read it personally, I'm trying to see if I can find it to buy so I can read it. I think it's safe to recommend. But back to the present. Look at what's happening right now with Trump and everything. There are still millions of white women that are in support of that man. And they are raising their sons in hopes that they would one day be the kind of man that Trump is. These women have been at this for hundreds of years at this point, intentionally marrying, birthing, and raising white supremacists because that is who they are inherently. You cannot give what you don't have. And we have for hundreds of years now seen what they have to give. And what baffles me more is the fact that this system that these women create and help perpetuate affects them to a good extent as well, because after they've bettered these men and trained them to be this menace to society that they are, these men then turn around to and create laws and put systems in place to hold them back as well, but they don't seem to have a problem with it.
White women have a weird and unhealthy and up relationship with white men. white women who have white sons. Seriously, what the You will stand by your son no matter what? No matter what. What the is this? Where these... Like, you can't even criticize a woman's son without it becoming World War III. You can't. No, you really can't. I don't even care if you're related to them. It doesn't work. It doesn't work out well. And this other thing I'm seeing, white women infantilizing white men who they perceive as having a monochrome of difficulty navigating within white patriarchal society. What the You are infantilizing them, running to their rescue and defending them with your last breath. Like, the energy is interesting, but like, why? Why are you doing it? Like, it is so ingrained to do it, and I am sitting back and I know I've done it. Like, I'm not like saying I'm not guilty of it, but now that I'm on the other side of the fence of this and I'm noticing this, whoo, this is why I don't think that white women are victims. I don't think we hold any victimhood, because I think that we are deliberately and intentionally hanging on to these toxic relationships and living out a fantasy through them. And I'm not exactly sure what the fantasy is, other than maybe one day we'll be chosen by the patriarchy. And so we're living that out in our relationships, either with our sons or with our dating experiences with kind of the men we're with. But either way, it's giving desperation, and I don't give a about what is in my own best interest. So could we stop, please? White women, could you stop? Stop infantilizing grown white men and having this urge to jump to their defense when they have done the most abhorrent. Stop infantilizing white men when you see them even having a monochrome of difficulty navigating white patriarchal society. Because it's not helping. You are the reason it is being perpetuated. All of the systemic issues, all of it. You're the reason. Because you're rescuing these men from growing the up. Stop it.
Recently, I learned about I think I can call it a mantra from the feminist in South Korea that says, translated, if the world born from my body oppresses me, I will not let that world exist. This has got to be one of the most powerful mantras or quotes that I've ever heard of or read in my entire life. And it's powerful for me personally because it highlights the role that we as women play within these systems that we operate under. And the power that we hold, actually, because we are the ones who are betting the people who are creating these systems or perpetuating these systems that are affecting us and affecting other people. And we can decide to say, no, we are not doing this again. Bringing these quotes in context to the conversation we are having right now as it relates to white women, this is a decision that they can make as well. But this is a decision that the majority of them would not make, because I fear the majority of white women hate black and brown people more than they love themselves. Yes, I said it. Yeah, it's out there. I said it. This may be a controversial take to some people, but that's how I feel, because really when I think about it, like I said earlier on in the video, how is it that they don't mind that they get harmed by these systems that these men that they bet and train create? How come they don't care that these men are talking about how they want to take their right to vote away? They don't want them to have jobs anymore, to be getting an education, to be able to have their own accounts. I saw a video recently of some women talking about how they've noticed how the banks are starting to do some things with their accounts, their credits.
They're closing women's bank accounts. I repeat, they are closing women's bank accounts in the US right now. So last month, my credit card got its credit limit lowered with no explanation and no reasoning whatsoever. And when I called the credit card company, they sent me an email like a day or two later letting me know that it didn't say specifically why they lowered my credit limit, but they said that it could be one or more of the reasons listed below for the reason why my credit limit was lowered. And they gave like a dozen reasons. So they didn't tell me specifically what the reason was. They just gave me a dozen like possible reasons. And I didn't match any of those reasons. Like, one of the reasons was late payments. I've never been late on this card. Another reason was constantly maxing out the card. I've never maxed out this card. Another reason was too many inquiries on my credit lately. I haven't had any inquiries on my credit in almost a year. Like, literally, I didn't match any of the reasons whatsoever. So I didn't understand. And when I called back, they told me that it's just one of those reasons and that they can't tell me anything else because it's just one of those reasons. They don't have a specific reason as to why they lowered the credit limit on my credit card. And I made a video about it when this happened like a month ago because I thought that it had something to do with the economy because the economy is like really crappy right now. And in the comments on the video, there was a handful of other women who had the same exact situation happen to them, all with different credit card companies. And now I have come across almost a dozen videos of women in the US saying that their bank accounts are being closed without explanation. And in the comments on all of these videos, there are hundreds of women saying that this has happened to them or that their credit cards, like credit limits, were lowered and that has happened to them. Now listen, I don't know if there's anything to this. I don't know if they are going down the hole of The Handmaid's Tale and literally watching and copying the TV show and canceling all of the women's bank accounts and trying to lower our credit limits and all this other stuff. But what I do know is that it is suspicious as hell because in all of these videos and all of these comment sections, I have not seen one man have the same thing happen to him. It is just women.
So when I hear things like this, I'm like, oh my goodness, that is terrible. But in my head, I'm like, you are still going to vote for them next voting season, though. Why? And the conclusion I've come to, I could not help but come to, is that these people hate black and brown people more than they love themselves. So they are willing to put their own rights and freedom, body autonomy on the line as long as black and brown people are suffering. They don't care. That's of more priority to them, of more importance to them. And it's just very sad. Now, I could be wrong, right? But my own personal observation, looking from the outside in on these things, that's the only logical conclusion I could come to. And if it's not that, you let me know what you think it is, what your theory is in the comment section, because honestly, the way they navigate makes absolutely no sense to me.
Yes, white women have a f***ed up relationship with white men. And this is why. Because in a patriarchal, white privileged society, straight, white, cis, hetero, able-bodied men have all of the power. And a lot of white women's relationship with white men is a total power grab. It's like, if I can please you, if I can appease you, if I can play your game, then maybe I can have a little semblance of the power. Maybe if I appease you enough, maybe if I ignore enough of the bad behavior, you'll pick me, you'll like me, you'll give me power. It's a recognition of the lack of power we hold, while also a recognition of who holds the power and then trying to power grab it through them by being a pick-me girl.
And that right there explains why white women, it's going to be hard for them to stop acting the way they do because of the system of white supremacy that one, they helped create it and they perpetuate as well, right? Because of the benefits that comes with white supremacy, it's going to be hard for them to stop being pick-me's and infantilizing these men and putting their necks on the line for them and defending them the way that they do, because if they stop doing that, right, these white men are going to take the benefits of white supremacy from them. So because they are scared of losing the benefits that white supremacy offers, that is why they are trapped in this loop of, kiss white men's asses, put neck on the line for them and defend them, infantilize them if they need to, so they can get the benefit of white supremacy. It's like this crazy circle that they are going in, and it's going to be hard for them to get out of it. Those are the thoughts I have on this one. I don't think there's any more that I could bring up right now that I've not said before in the previous video that I made. So I don't want to be sound like a broken record. So I'm going to be leaving it here and leave the floor open for you guys to come share your thoughts and opinions. What do you think? Let's continue the conversation in the comment section. Thank you for watching. I'll be catching you in the next one.